If they're a better operator, they're not going to go into an operation or a business that sucks. If they're better at finance and accounting, they're not going to go to a broken business that can't make money. The only thing I can actually control is me and how I react to certain situations. So that set me on a mission of how do I manage and control me, because I'm impulsive, I'm aggressive, I want to dominate, I want to win. I used to have this saying when people go, oh, you ran over that person. I'd be like, yeah, well, that's because they were laying down. Right? I always had a justification for being right. And see, in order to actually get to where I wanted to get to, I had to come to the realization once I busted open the first book that I started reading, first chapter. It just brought so much clarity to me. John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws. Law number 1, the lid. You can't bring better people. You can't bring more influence. You can't bring higher competency people above you, underneath you, because why would they? They're already better. If they're a better leader, they're not going to work for a small leader, a low-thinking leader. If they're a better operator, they're not going to go into an operation or a business that sucks. If they're better at finance and accounting, they're not going to go to a broken business that can't make money. See, what happens is all of a sudden you realize that everyone that you have in your present moment is below you. Then it answers a lot of questions, which is why aren't people helping you? Why aren't people fixing things? Why aren't people adding advice? Why aren't people? Because they're below you. You're the lid. You're the cap. And what John said, it very clearly said, if you want to elevate everything below you, you have to elevate yourself. Or the people below you that are elevating themselves, they only have one option, and that is to go outside of you. So then I really had to go backwards and understand why I surrounded myself with people that I surrounded myself with. Why did I pick the people I picked? Why did I surround myself with people who let me down? Well, because, see, I was their example. John talks about law of mirror. When you look in the mirror and you see a reflection back you don't like, it's actually your reflection. So of course I surrounded myself with people who took shortcuts. Sure, I surrounded myself with people who acted like they could do more than they could actually do. Sure, I surrounded myself with people who had a false sense of confidence. Sure, I surrounded myself with all those people because, see, I was that person. And although I had enough success to fool myself and fool the people around me, because of the gifts that I do have, they were offset with things that caused me to fail. And that put me on my mission, which is, how do I grow my leadership? How do I grow my business acumen? How do I understand and learn operations? How do I take responsibility? I couldn't read a P&L. The thing that got me in trouble, that gave control to my private equity group, is I bought a business. It was an actuarial receivable healthcare company business. And see, all the clinics and businesses I bought, they were all boxing everything up and doing their own super bills and sending it in. And one person to get reimbursed 80%, one person to get, you understand this in healthcare, one person gets 60%, one person gets 20%. And that's because different contracts, different markets have different reimbursement structures. They all change it all the time. There's all this complexity. And in the late 90s, it was all manual. There was no systems, there was no technology. So you just manually had to figure all this stuff out. So I bought a business that was an expert in doing it in every state. And I bought the business and we shipped every day in airborne, all the super bills in, and they were going to bill, and we were doing $3 million a month, and I was collecting 86% of it. And so I wanted to get to 95%. And the problem was I bought the business, the owners were like, yeah. And then 90 days later, my CFO comes in and says, we have zero money. I'm like, how can we not have any money? Jump on a plane and fly to New Mexico and go find out what's going on. So my team jumps on a plane, flies to New Mexico, walks over to the business. The people at the front answer the door, and they go back in the warehouse, and there's boxes and boxes and boxes of unopened boxes. And they're like, where are the people working? Oh, the owners, when they sold, they got enough money, they kind of checked out. They've been up at their house drinking every day for the last 90 days. So my team goes to the owner's house. They call me and go, we got a problem. We had semi trucks pull up, pick up all these boxes. See, and in healthcare, they say if you don't bill within 90 days, we don't have to pay you. And so all of a sudden, I had this emergency, 2019, October, I did an emergency round of financing. I raised $10 million. I hired all new people. I fixed everything. I started building automation, and within 6 months, we had the best billing and receiving business in the industry, 92, 93%. I was doing it for everybody else. I started making money, and I went from $0 to $1 million a month of profit. The problem was that little emergency financing, Warburg Pincus put the money in, it gave them 44% of the business, and it triggered their ability to control certain aspects. So when I took that debt on, one of the things that gave me ability to control is if you bring any debt on, we get to automatically trigger a sale of your business. You see, cause, effect. Didn't seem like a big thing in 2019, but it allowed them in 2021 to pull the trigger.